Hello friends, today we will discuss about the second mode of splicing, that is spliceosome mediated splicing. In earlier videos we have studied about that intron mediated splicing or self splicing, and in this video we will study about the spliceosome mediated splicing. So in this spliceosome mediated splicing, it is generally carried out by the small ribonuclear proteins, means short nuclear ribonuclear proteins, which are also known as the snaps, like this SNRNPS, that is small ribonucleoproteins, small nuclear ribonucleoproteins. These are the small ribonucleoproteins. Those are present in between the nucleus, and these small ribonucleoproteins, these form complex with the mRNA, and that allow or hold on the different 3 points of the mRNA. These small SNRPs are responsible for the holding out of the 3 points of the mRNA, which is the premature. Those 3 points are the, as you can see, this 5' cleaving signal, which is in the AGGU into GG. One is this, second is the branch point, and third one is the 3' cleaving signal, which is also between GG, that is AGGU. These 3 points, which 3 points? 5' signal point, 3' signal point, and branch point. These 3 points come in the close proximity with the help of these SNRNPAs. So these no any protein present which is responsible for the catalysis, but only the catalytic part is present in between that mRNA its own. In the intron of mRNA, catalytic part is present, and none of the protein is responsible for the catalysis. If in this case of spliceosome, generally 3 complexes are formed, which are the first one is the commitment complex, which is also known as E complex. Second one is the pre-spliceosomal complex, which is also known as A complex, and third one is the spliceosome complex, which is also known as the C complex. So in this case, when there is the complete combination of the SNRNPs plus proteins and non-proteins factors plus mRNA, there is a formation of the bulge like this. Bulge-like structure is formed by the combination of SNRNPs, proteins, non-protein factors, and mRNA, and this bulge-like structure is known as the spliceosome. So when these spliceosome, if we look at, it looks like there is this bulge-like structure, and on that bulge-like structure small bead-like structures are present, which shows that splicing is going on. These bead-like structures are just like these are the SNRNPs. So first step of this splicing is these two are the exons, and in between it is shown with the red line is the intron, and in the first step there is this one is the branch point. The SNRNP, here there is the role of SNRNPs U type, the U1 which is further of different type like U1, U2, U4, U5 and U6. So in first step U1 SNRNP comes, and there is also incoming of the BBP, which is the branch point binding protein, and after that this U1 protein binds to this 5' cleaving signal, and BBP binds to the branch point, and near to BBP there is a non-protein particle which is U2AF particle also comes and joined with the adjacent of the BBP. Here polypyrimidine sequences are present which are rich in the serine and arginine, and at this point U2AF U2 auxiliary factor bind, and this U2 auxiliary factor is responsible for the further binding of the U2 factor. When U2 factor comes, by the incoming of the U2 factor, this BBP is finally kicked off because it replaces this BBP because of the having more affinity toward this mRNA, toward this branch point of the mRNA as comparison to BBP. So BBP removed here and U2 comes here. So U1, U2 and U2AF comes. And before this, in second step, when this U1, BBP and U2AF come to on the intron part of the mRNA, this complex is known as E complex. and when this U1, U2 comes and BBP kicked out and U2AF is also present, this complex is known as the A complex, which is in the step 3. So next one is the step 4. Here tri-SNRNP complex come. Tri means 3 proteins that are U4, U5 and U6 come, and by coming of these proteins U1 and U4 are kicked out, and finally there is a complex in which there is the exon 1, exon 2 and U6, U5, U2 remains. U1, U4 are cut out. Why? Because this U6 is always present in the combination of the U4. Why? Because U4, and when U6 is in combination of the U4, this protein is in inactive form, because it is the main cleaving protein. If it remain in active form, there is the splicing remains in the going on, and there is the complete wastage of the energy. So when their splicing is required, there is the breakage of the bond, there is the breakage of the U6 and U4 part come, and when U4 part come out from this U6 part, this U6 portion become active and this protein become active from the inactive state. So that's why U4 comes out, U1 again comes out, and U6 and U5 joins, and U2 is the hair on the branch point, and this form a Lariat like structure. And in the next step, in this Lariat like structure, from here, when there is the complete binding of the U5 with the E1 complex, here there is the U2 and U6 complex, and when this is cleaved out by this spliceosome complex, by the cleaving activity, this U6 protein, then there is 5' and of this exon 1 where there is a phosphate, and toward the 3' and there is the hydroxyl group. This hydroxyl group of the 3' and act as the nucleophile, and there is a nucleophilic attack on the GU portion of this E2, this exon 2. When there is the nucleophilic attack, there is the breakage of this E2 from here, and there is the binding of the E1 and E2 like this, and this becomes a mature mRNA, and this whole intron part, and with the help of SNRNPs proteins and with the help of non-protein factors, this release out and it form a Lariat like structure. So this is removed, and this mature RNA go into the cytoplasm, and further there is the process of translation. So these holes are the steps, different steps in the process of splicing, that is the spliceosome mediated splicing. Thank you, friends.